Welcome to Duran's Designs. In today's video, Coco and I are making 3D wooden ornaments for Christmas. We'll show you how we carve the signs on the long mill CNC, and we'll show you the process for hand painting each ornament. This is going to be a detailed tutorial, so let's get started now. So we got our board here, but it needs to be resawed. It's a little too thick for our project, so Coco's going to use the Laguna bandsaw, and that'll give us 2 boards out of 1. So she's just starting off by raising the guard. After doing that, she'll tighten up the wheel. You can make sure it doesn't move, and you see the tension is off of the blade, and then she'll just push it all the way back up, and that puts the tension back on the blade. I have the dust collection piped in on my ceiling and walls, and she'll just close off the one and open up the other. And always make sure to use your safety gear in the shop. So once she gets her gear on, she's going to get the remote I use for my shop, remote starter. I'm going to turn on the dust collection, which is the CraftX 1 horsepower dust collector. It's a little underpowered for my shop, but it does good for 1 tool at a time. So it's going to turn on the bandsaw and use the block to push the board up against the fence, and she'll slowly move the board through. I'm using the Laguna Resaw King blade. It's 3/4 inches wide. Works pretty good for resawing. I'm liking this bandsaw. It makes a big difference in the shop. I've mostly used it for resawing boards for the CNC at this point. And you always want to keep your hands away from the blade as much as possible, so Coco just switches sides there and starts to pull for the last part. Shut off the machine, and she will turn off the dust collector remotely. And this is what we got. 2 usable boards. So now we're going to use the tape and glue method, and we'll show you how to do that now to secure the board to the CNC. So we're going to use glue and activator, and we'll use green masking tape. Just tape the whole back side of the board, and then we'll put glue on it, and then we'll tape the wasteboard the same size and put the activator on that, and that will connect the boards nicely without leaving any sticky residue or having to use clamps that will get in the way. So we'll place the board in the position we want to use it. Make sure it's lined up and square, and then we'll put tape on each corner of the board so I know where we can put the tape down on the wasteboard. Another way this method is good is if you want to surface the board and you don't want the clamps in the way. Also, if you want to cut pieces out of a board and keep them in place. So now we'll just take this back to the work table, and we'll just add a little bit of glue just everywhere on the board, just so it will connect everywhere, and especially the corners and the pieces that you're going to cut, so they'll stay in place while you're cutting them. And then you're going to use an activator that comes with the glue, and you're going to make sure you use your protection again. This stuff's kind of stinky, and you'll spray that all over the wasteboard, and you'll make sure you line it up properly, put it in place, and once it's down there, it's not coming off unless you're taking the whole thing off. So now we're going to do the surfacing feature that comes with G-Sunder. So we'll take off the bit that's on there now, and we're going to add a 1-inch servicing bit that you see there on the table. Gogo's going to make sure that's nice and tight. And then we're going to just place it as close to the bottom left hand corner as you can. Just kind of line it up by sight because you're going to have a little bit of overplay there. And then you're going to use the paper method for the Z height and just keep inching down a little bit until you're just touching the paper and it won't move. Then we can close up the enclosure. I have a remote start. It's very handy with the CNC enclosure that I can turn off remotely if I want to watch it from inside the house. Anything goes wrong, there's a security camera inside there. And we'll run the program here and it'll just go through the servicing. Now this board it's been sitting in my shop a while and it's a little rough. It's split a little bit there, so we're just going to service it to get it nice and even. And that's sped up about 4 times there. And once that's done, we're just going to use the middle of the board. And I'll try to use the rest of it for smaller pieces down the road. Now we'll remotely turn on the shop vac that's underneath the table. And we can clean up the sawdust, get it cleaned up for the next step, which is carving out the 3D Christmas ornaments that we're going to make. And we're not doing a huge cleaning right now. We'll do that when the project's completely finished. We just want to make the table a little more cleaner for when we're working in there. So now I'm going to take off that servicing bit and I'm going to put on ball nose 1/4 inch. And this will be for the roughing pass of the 3D carve. It's all the way up in there. Tighten it up. Make sure it's nice and tight. You're going through a lot of material with the roughing pass. So we're going to use the touch plate that comes with the CNC Labs long mill. And you're just going to position the bit above the circle. Doesn't have to be perfect, just as long as it's pretty close. And you're going to run the probing for the XYZ position. And you want to touch the metal or the aluminum plate up to the bit so you know it's got a secure connection. And then it's going to run through the Z and then the X and the Y. And that gives you the position. So we can start the router once we load the file, and we can start it out, hit start job, and away it goes. Now, I usually go conservative on the speeds at the beginning and see how it's handling with the board. And if it's cutting nice, then I will increase the speed on the program itself. It gives you the option to increase or decrease the speed, and that'll speed up the carve quite a bit. So you can see on the G-Sender program here, it's saying it's taking 8 hours and 37 minutes. It won't take that long. So if you hit the plus or minus there, you can increase or decrease the speed, and it shows you in the inches per minute how fast it's going, and also the percentage. So I start off about 120% of what I originally set it at and see how that goes. And then eventually I'll knock it up to 138 once I see that everything's carving nice. The long mill is a pretty sturdy machine. It can handle faster speeds in certain situations. As you can see, the time goes down as the program figures out how many lines are left and how many went through. So this is after the roughing pass. It's a little bit rough, but you can start to see how the design is going to come out. You got a gingerbread man there and a truck with the tree. So I put in a new bit now. This is the actual 1/8 inch ball nose. And you can set it to the size and just do the Z for the probe. And that'll just adjust the height because you've changed the height of the bit. But you don't need to adjust the X and the Y, just the Z. So once you get a connection there, you start the probe. And it will automatically set the Z height. And once that's done, you can start the next file, which is the finishing pass. Remotely start the router, start your job, and it'll go back and do a more fine detailed pass with the more detailed bit. So when that's finished up, we'll put in a new bit again. This is a 1/4 inch end mill, and this will just cut out the actual ornament from the board. It'll just go around the outside of the ornament, and it'll cut it out for you, leaving tabs so it won't go flying, hopefully. And it goes on the outside line of the ornament itself. You can set that to do whatever you want. You can have it cut right on the line, cut on the outside, or on the inside, depending on the job. And as I've said before, this enclosure works really well to keep all the dust and debris inside the machine, and keeps it from going inside my shop. Just making sure to clean out the router and the rails and everything very well after each job. So here's the example of the finished gingerbread man. Needs a little cleaning up, but we'll show you how to paint it next. So Coco will take it over to the work table, and we'll get out our acrylic paints and all the paint colors we're going to use, and she'll start by putting a base coat of brown on the whole front and on the sides, and then we'll flip it over and do the back. Here we're using our painting pyramids that I 3D printed on my Bamboo Lab 3D printer. If you want to see some videos on that printer and how it can be used in the shop, you can check those out on our channel. And now Coco will just finish up painting the rest of the gingerbread man. It's almost kind of more of a stain than an actual painting. So after you've let that dry for a bit, you may need a second coat, and you may not, depending on your wood and your paint. So should just start with the different colors. Chose white for the eye, and we'll just speed that up and show you her process. So here's the finished results. I think that came out pretty good. And we also have the truck that was painted, and some other examples of some of the 3D ornaments that we've carved and hand painted in the past. So thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and stay tuned every week for new videos.